Good evening and welcome to Virtual Pub Project episode 8. I've done a whole week of it now. So, what I had planned to do was to show you a delightful video of me repairing some stuff in here that's damaged and needs to be fixed. We have some electronical things that we wanted to repair. Unfortunately, what we thought was a quick job is actually quite a big one. So, instead of that, what I thought we'd do is, because a lot of you loved my history of the pint glass video, we will do another random bit of pub history video, which some of you might find quite interesting and some of you might find quite boring. Sorry if you find it quite boring, yay if you find it quite interesting. So, history of pub signs. Why do you have a pub sign? Obviously it's to make sure that you know you are in the Exeter Arcade, the best pub in Exeter, nay, the world. I might be slightly biased on that one. But no, right, so, history of the pub sign. So, back in medieval periods, when inns and public houses, because they were houses that were open to the public, started to become a thing, there was an important rule that the king of the time had put forward. And that was that no settlement, no village, no town could have more than one pub. That was it, one pub. So if you were going to the pub, it was the pub. There was no need for naming it. There were no, no way to identify it. It was just that one public house in your settlement. A bit later on in the medieval period, that gets abolished. King goes, well, towns and settlements are getting bigger. They probably need more pubs because pubs are an important thing. It's where your community comes together and all that. Right, you can have more than one pub, but how do you know if you've gone to the right pub? There was only ever one. Now there's many in towns and settlements. So he put through a royal decree that every single pub in the world had to have a wooden board out the front, normally hanging from the roof, with a picture on it, so that people knew which pub they were in. Now, why a picture and why not just write the name of the pub down? Medieval period. People can't read. Okay, there is reading about, people can read, but it's not a hugely widely accepted thing. There are still people out there who could not read. So you had to have an image. This is why a lot of early pub signs, really old pub signs, are things like the bell, the star, and the moon. Because they're easy to draw. Publicans just went around the back, found some paint, sloshed it onto a wooden board, chucked it out the front. Okay, we're going to be known as the 5 stars. We'll paint 5 stars on a board, put it out the front. And that was sort of where the pub sign concept came from. Obviously, years went past and artistic type people went, well, we can make a bit of money painting these signs in a really beautiful way. And that's where we get our really quite beautiful pub signs from. Nice selection of them over here somewhere. And then people said, well, why don't we use our pub signs as a way to universally tell people what's here? So again, a bit later into the medieval period, people start going, well, let's tell people what our pub is about. So for example, the Exeter Arcade, we're a gaming bar. We're about geeky things. We've got some arcade machines. You can just see over there, there. I'm no good at pointing with a pen. It's at an angle there. There, the top of our air hockey machine. That's the pub. That's the experience you're going to get when you come into that pub. Obviously, medieval period, they didn't have arcade machines, so what were their signs all about? So you have things like the Black Horse. So if you came to a pub called the Black Horse, it meant that the pub had stables attached to it. So you could stable your horses. You were riding into town, if you were a letter courier, for example, to come all the way from central London and you're heading off towards sort of Plymouth or wherever. And you've stopped off at a town or a settlement with a message that and you need to rest your horse for the night. You look for a pub called the Black Horse because it has stabling. Anything like the Anvil, blacksmith, whatever, we have a blacksmith associated with our pub. So you can go in, get your pint and pay the blacksmith to do whatever it is you needed doing. With farming districts, you might, I was going to go for the blacksmith's anvil and take your scythe over there to be sharpened by him professionally or whatever. Anything like that would be connected with that. Even later on, pubs then decided, well, we can get political with this. You may have heard of something called the Crusades. King Richard of Lionheart goes to the Middle East to give them a good old damn hiding because they keep coming over and invading Europe. And the evil Saracen has taken over Jerusalem and he's uniting all of the people in Europe and he's going to go give them what for. So a lot of pubs wanted to go, well, we're proud royalists, we support the king in his great crusade. How do we show our support? So they renamed pubs. So if you wanted to show that you were a supporter of the Crusades and Richard of Lionheart, you would change the name of your pub to the Red Lion, because that was Richard of Lionheart's crest, his thing. That was his thing. You were showing support. Yeah, we're behind you. Good old Richie. Go give them what for. And thus, then you would change the sign of your bar. Quick other little thing for people who are interested in the extra little tidbits. Traditionally, pubs would be owned by a brewery, and people would rent the pub from the brewery, and part of that lease would be that you had to buy their beer. So if you see, for example, I know in Exeter we've got a few Heaventry houses. They have to buy their beer from Heaventry Brewery. And this is where the concept of a free house comes from. Free house. You're allowed to buy your beer wherever you want. You are free to choose who you buy your beer from, and so on and so forth. Very quick, very rough. Hopefully I'll show you the repairing of a smoke machine tomorrow, but who knows. But yeah, that is a quick overview of the history of pub signs. Obviously this one over here is our favourite. Other than that, this is quite a good one because obviously go and check us out on Patreon. Link. Or this is one. So you can just give to our Just Give cause. Or maybe you really like this one because you fancy getting a couple beers from us from Deliveroo. All those links will be in the description. But other than that, this has been Virtual Pub episode 8. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Watch this space because I am looking to host a pub quiz via Facebook Live. We'll have more details of that to come later this week, possibly for the weekend at some point. So other than that, I hope you're enjoying these episodes. Thank you very much. Thank you for all those people who've sent me memes. So a bit further down the line, we'll do another Landlord Reacts to Memes episode.